Hello, everyone. This is another Black Conservative. I am Ryan Boland. Thank you all for joining me. So some guy decides to break into the home of an individual in Kenosha, Washington, attacks the owner of the home, and gets shot and dies. Let's get into this article here. And the article starts off, an alleged intruder forced his way into a Kenosha, Washington. Kenosha, Wisconsin home Friday, attacked the homeowner and was subsequently shot dead. WISN reports that police initially received reports that the suspect was, quote, damaging cars at random around 7:30 p.m. The report indicates the suspect was near 64th Avenue and 69th Street. TMG4 notes that police then received a call about an individual being shot around 9 p.m. Officers arrived to find that the suspect had forced his way into a home and, quote, attacked the homeowner. The homeowner shot the suspect, killing him. After Kenosha Police Department posted about the incident on Facebook, a Facebook user responded to the news writing, quote, good to the homeowner, and I quote that as well. I hope they weren't physically hurt and can handle the emotions. Good for them for defending themselves and their property. And that's the end of that article there. Once again, good for this homeowner. Look, I don't like violence. I don't support initiating violence, but I certainly support defending oneself from bodily harm and defending oneself in their own home. That's why it's important to have your own gun. For all those people that's against guns, why don't incidents like this get reported more often on the mainstream news? And when they do, it's always taken from this perspective of gun violence. It's interesting to me how the mainstream media would take something like this and somehow twist it to somehow justify still taking guns. Unbelievable. You would have to be blind as a bat to see something like this and still be like, we need to get rid of the guns. It's interesting to me that people that support this worldview of getting rid of guns or making it harder for law-abiding citizens to get guns. It's interesting when they say stuff like this, but when they're faced, or if they're ever faced with the same scenario, what are they going to do? You're going to do karate on the person? Because if you don't know karate, you're going to be but out of luck. If you don't have some kind of way of defending yourself, what are you going to do? Let them go ahead and break in and steal all your stuff? If you are married with children, what are you going to do? How are you going to protect your children? Because a lot of times these people break in your homes, they're not only going to steal what you got in there, they're going to kill you or do something bad to you. More likely going to try to kill you. People are getting tired of being victims. Hooray to this person in Wisconsin. God bless them. As the individual quoted, I hope as well that the owner of the gun and the owner of the home is not suffering some emotional impact, because you got to think about it. It's two emotionally impactful situations that occurred. First, the person tried to break in their home. The owner of the home clearly heard the person trying to break in, so they probably was terrified. So that's one strike of emotional trauma. Then you go to the second strike of emotional trauma, shoot the person and and then it's three. Then you attack. First, he breaks into the home. The owner of the home hears it, traumatized. Trauma number one. Trauma number two, according to the article, the attacker attacked the owner. I don't know how he attacked the owner, with a knife or what, I don't know. But he attacked the owner. Trauma number two. So that's two traumas. Trauma number three. The owner pulls out the gun, shoots the person. Where the person was at, what it was doing, I don't know. The article didn't say. But he shoots the person, kills the person. So all that trauma has effect. I'm pretty sure it has had some kind of emotional effect. But I pray that the person, the owner of the gun and owner of the home is okay. That this is not going to affect them to the point where they can't work and they can't function. I hope that that's not the case. They can get past this. But hooray for this individual. This once again supports my belief in gun ownership, legal gun ownership, and that more and more people need to apply to get guns, because in certain states, and I forget, I think it's Illinois, Illinois. I think it's Illinois. I was reading about how that the legislation there, or the senators and the council there, is going to let out like several thousand high-profile criminals. And when I say high-profile criminals, I'm talking about second-degree murderers, rapists, kidnappers. They're going to let them out on the streets. I forget exactly the reason for that. And I remember my boss the other day, after I got off from work, well, actually, I just came into work, made the statement before everybody. It's like, man, he mentioned the same thing I just mentioned about this situation in Illinois. He said the same thing. I'm going to get me all kinds of guns. Now, I'm not saying go around just getting all kinds of guns, but he said, I'm going to give me all kinds of guns. I'm going to get an AR-15 or this and that. And I said, I said, why? He says, because of the situation in Illinois. And I said, oh, I know what you're talking about. I read about that. Crazy, isn't it? What is going on here? I'll tell you what's going on in the summation of this video. These radical liberals do not care for you. I'm going to keep saying that until the day I die, man. These people don't care for you. These radical liberal Democrats do not care for you, people. They don't care. Why vote for someone that doesn't care for you? You might not like Republicans. Okay, cool, whatever. You don't like Republicans. Woo, 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 woo. But why would you vote for someone and empower people who clearly do not care for you? Tell me one good reason why in Illinois they would release these criminals. I just remembered. Because they can't pay, get this now, because they can't pay for bail. These criminals, high-profile criminals, kidnappers and second-degree murderers and rapists can't pay for bail, so let them out. This is how liberals think, people. I'm not making this stuff up. This is how they think. They think that criminals are crying out against an oppressive society, and that's why they commit these crimes. So these liberals feel sorry for them. That's why in the 60s and the 70s, you used to call them, people on the conservative side used to call them bleeding heart liberals, because liberals had this soft heart for criminals, because, it's just these criminals they're crying out against an oppressive society, and they're just so oppressed. And that's the reason why they're committing crimes. That is a bunch of bull crap. That is the stupidest thing in the world. There's been many situations in poor neighborhoods where people are impoverished, don't go out and commit crimes. That's a bunch of crap. People, for the most part, commit crimes because they can. There's no laws to restrain them, so they commit them. They have a lawless attitude. They need to be put away. They need to be put away in the jails. If they can't pay for bail, that's not my fault. That's not the community's fault because they can't pay for bail. So what? You are a criminal. You need to be behind bars. Time and time again, it has been shown when people like this are let out because they can't pay bail, they let them out. Time and time again, they end up repeating the same crimes and then fleeing the state or whatever. They know what they're doing. It's not a person crying out against an oppressive society. That is a bunch of Marxist, communist nonsense designed to cause chaos in your community so they can bring in their communist government. Order out of chaos is what they want. You create chaos, then you come in and fix the problem. They're playing you, man. These liberal, democratic, socialist, Marxist agitators and dividers are playing you. They're playing us, man. They're playing the community. Maybe I shouldn't say you. Okay, I don't want to point to anybody else. Sound like I'm preaching. But they're playing people, man. They're playing the people. They're playing the masses. It's time for America to wake up, or else this country is going to go under. But that's just what I wanted to say about that. Hooray for this homeowner. God bless him. And I hope more and more people will see the light and do the same thing. What do you guys think? Leave your comments in the comment section below. Like, share, and subscribe to this channel. God bless you all, and see you again.